Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Amanda with Life and DIY with Amanda. I hope you're loving my series of videos this week so far. I have some really cute ones for you today. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment and hit that notification bell so that way you'll be notified every time I upload a video. I am excited about both of these DIYs, but the last one is my favorite, so you have to stick around to see what that is. So I got these little ghosties. So again, I'm using my craft stash, and these are from last year, but I know that they come out every year. This is a little garland that I had gotten from the 99-cent only store. Pumpkins came from the Dollar Tree, and this is a light, battery-operated light from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint all my little ghosties white here, and I'm just using acrylic white paint. You can use whatever paint you want. If you want to take a long step out of this, you could just take them outside and spray paint them white. I thought about it, but I was like, well, I do want to add a little dimension to them. So you'll see here how I'm adding just little stripes of brown. I end up using both brown and black to give them just a little bit more than just the solid white. And then I take a paintbrush with a little bit of white on it, and I kind of blend those colors together to give the bottom of the ghosty some movement. So after I painted him, so that was the hardest part of the whole project. After I painted him, I did go ahead and fill in the little holes in the top with the Dollar Tree spackling. And then I'm going to put the little pumpkins on him and add a little cartoony swirl. Super easy. Just add, just wanted to add a little bit extra. And I'm going to put the pumpkins on all the little ghosties here because I thought it was cute. Like he's holding a little ghost friend, and it matches the vibe and the colors on the black cat garland. If you remember, I used one of the black cats as the felt on my ghost pillow that you saw yesterday. So I am down one cat, but it actually works out perfect. I really like the way that the measurement is. So I just put some batteries in my light, and I am just feeding them through the eyeballs of the ghosty. When you use just the top little hole, you have to, come up with another way for it to attach to the string, but I really wanted it to be a part of this because we've seen garland in many different forms. I haven't seen this done. I'm sure I'm not the only person that ever thought of it, but as far as I know, and I watch a lot of DIY videos, that I'm the first one to do it like this. So I'm just going to, and I love because it's like a pretty stiff wire, so it holds everything in place. So I'm just going to go ahead and right now, I'm just going to go ahead and feed in my wire through the ghosties and put all 4 of them on there. So this goes really smooth. I learned along the process, you go in one eye, pull it all the way through, and then go in through the other eye and then pull it through. Like you're sewing the ghosties together. So now that they're on, I'm going to lay out my kitty cats so that there's one kitty cat in between each ghost. And then we're going to attach the kitty cats to the string light, basically. So on the back of each one of these kitty cats has like a little felt tab that's holding down their string of garland. So I just pulled it up, put down the light, put a little hot glue, and boom, stuck them together. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to do every single one of those just like that. I did, pull it apart so that way that there wasn't any slack in the black ribbon. And I thought about taking the ribbon off completely and just using the cats on the wire, but I like the way that the black ribbon kind of enhances the look just a little bit, give it more of a garlandy look. And this is so cute. I totally want to do it with some other um, cutouts. I love lighted garland, and I just thought this was a unique and fun way to do this. I also thought about adding beads to it because, the typical garland has some kind of bead to it, so I might do a lighted beaded garland next. So, but we'll see how that goes. So this last one right here, I'm just making sure that it's all lined up and that the lights will be in front, not in back, because we want to see the lights and not hide them. So that's it. It's really that easy. I hope you guys like this super quick DIY. I just thought it was a cute one and a unique one to add to your Halloween collection. And because they have these string lights and the cutouts for every season, you could literally do it for any season. So this is the side where I had cut off the other cat. So it didn't have its little loop. So I just used the wire to wrap around and make another loop. I did the same thing on the other side so that the wire goes all the way up the black ribbon. And that is that. That was easy. So cute. I love it. I hope you love it as much as I do. Make sure you comment down below and let me know what you think. So now on to my favorite DIY. So these are just those janky little tombstones from the Dollar Tree, and I swear I've had them for years because I knew I was going to do something with them, but I never did, of course. So here we are using my craft stash. So I just took them outside and I spray painted them. Um, no, it's not black. It's called like a farmhouse black, so it's like um, a bronzy black, if that makes sense. But that's just what I had. I was trying to use up the rest of the spray paint in the can because there wasn't a lot, and there was just enough to spray these. So I am taking off the trick or treat because I didn't like it. And I thought if I took it off, it would give it more of a spooky, realistic look. So I'm just going to take my sanding block and I'm just going to make it so that it's flat and then dump off the excess styrofoam because, oh my gosh, the styrofoam was forever all over the place. Sticking to my hand, sticking to the table. So I did paint both of the tombstones the same color and left them outside to dry. So now I'm going to use Mod Podge. So Mod Podge is always my base when I'm going to paint over something funky like this. So in this one, I use Mod Podge because I wanted you to see the difference between the both. So this one, the whole thing is coated in Mod Podge because this foam is so thin and so, if you've ever worked with it, you know what I mean, but it's got a lot of texture, which is, I'm your texture girl. I love it. But I also wanted to have a surface for my paint to lay down. So um, it gives it a different dimension of texture without being extra bumpy, if that makes sense. So I'm going to coat this one, the whole thing, with Mod Podge. And then the second one, I don't put any Mod Podge on it so that you could see the difference. And now that I've done both of them, I definitely would Mod Podge. Definitely. It is a must. They both still come out cute, but the side with Mod Podge was easier to paint, easier to decorate, everything. Don't mind my Mod Podge. So, when you don't craft for a year, things start to get a little old and yucky. So, there was a lot of paint where I had to pull off the top skin. My Mod Podge, I had to pull off the top skin. A lot of paint I had to add water to. Some of it I just had to throw it away. But I do keep my paints in the garage, so if you have a nice, cool, dark place to keep stuff like that, they won't really do that. But it's because of the temperature change in the garage. But um, still, I made it work because I don't want to go buy new paint because I have a bunch of it, and I don't want to buy Mod Podge because I also have a bunch of that. So make sure you get all the way around the perimeter of your tombstone, so that way this next layer is going to stick to it really well. So I'm sure by now you've seen the paint baking soda mix. Um, I don't know an exact ratio, honestly. I just kind of willy-nilly throw it in and mix it until it's the right consistency. But this is going to give you a really cool stone-like appearance. So I had too much baking soda, so I added water, but then the water thinned it out too much, so then I had to add more baking soda. So I just went back and forth until it was finally, the way that I wanted it to be. So see that consistency? That's what I was going for because I have those areas where I ripped off the letters that I really wanted to cover up and I didn't want them to be noticeable. So I just got out my little, I don't know if that's like a paint trowel or whatever it's called, but I just got that out and I just smoothed it all over so that it would really be able to seep into any areas and kind of level itself out. But see how smoothly that this goes over? It goes over so smooth. That Mod Podge, and mind you, the Mod Podge was dry, 100% dry before I started this. So as I start painting it on, I just kind of reach into the pot there in the middle, and because there was a lot, so I took the excess off and used it to paint around the rest of my tombstone. I did dip my brush into water on occasion to help spread it around because the original thickness was for, you know, the area that I removed, but I needed it a little bit thinner to get it to spread it around the way that I really wanted to. So the solution to that is always just add a little bit of water, dip your paintbrush in water, and then it spreads around so smoothly from there. And so I just went ahead and I coated the entire tombstone with my baking soda paint mixture. So here's the second one, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the first one, as I'm going to remove the word wicked. And you're going to see the difference when I go to paint this one without the Mod Podge. I also had a smaller space to work with, so that was a little different too. And then I didn't like the bottoms of the skeletons, so I just used my little box cutter and removed those. And then I didn't like the center of the bat. I felt like it looked super cheesy and funny, so I pulled that off as well. And again, the styrofoam is it's fun. So I'm just taking whatever I have left in the cup and I'm removing that. Now, I should have like taken this outside and like knocked it around to get the excess styrofoam off. But with the other one, I did the exact same thing, but because I coated it in Mod Podge, I didn't really have to worry about it as much. So you'll see that's why, like, this, as I'm painting it on, like the chunks are coming out of the bare area, like the white area on this, where I had pulled the stuff off, and yeah, it was a little bit of a hot mess, but I wanted you to see the difference of a barrier between this foam and this baking soda paint mixture. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do this whole thing as well. Now, this is a long process to watch, but I think it's kind of therapeutic to watch this. So let me know in the comments below if you like watching the whole process or you just like to see the beginning and the end. You know, like I could have probably cut this down by 3/4, but um, it's important to see, you know, how the whole process is. And this is sped up a lot. So let me tell you, it did take me like half a day to do this. By the time I waited for all the dry time and everything. So I put these outside in the nice California sun, and that's what came up. So that is the baking soda that, because I did have a lot of baking soda in there. So that is like the excess baking soda, but I wasn't mad at it. I really like the texture and the dimension that it gave it. So I just added a little gray paint over the top to help cover that up a little bit. And now I've got my little short squatty brush, and I am using antique wax to give it another layer of dimension, that aged look, because, you know, tombstones are outside in the elements, so they have all different kinds of colors and textures and everything. Well, old, super old ones do. So here comes the fun part, the decorating. So these little hands are from the Dollar Tree, and just so you know, when I start a project, I don't necessarily know where it's going or how I'm going to get it there. I really do um, fly by the seat of my pants on these um, DIYs that I do for you. That you're watching the creative thinking and the creative magic happening in front of your eyes. So I wanted to share that with you, just so you know that, like, I had no idea. I knew how I was going to paint these tombstones, but I did not know what I was going to do with them after I had them painted. So I am putting these two little hands, and they're really easy because it's the styrofoam, so it pokes through. I put a little glue to hold it in space, in place, and I wanted the fingers to kind of to, you know, interlap, intertwine. That's it, intertwine. Now for the magic. Creative magic. Here it is. So I thought it would be so awesome if they were holding candles. Yep. What do you think? Tell me, definitely. Let me know down below if you think that this is super cool. Obviously, these are real candles. Um, I have the battery operated ones, and when we get to the season where I actually put this out with all my stuff, I will have the battery operated ones in there. And I also wanted to take these outside and uh, burn them down so they, you know, because I really wanted that dripping wax look, but I also want them to flicker. So I will eventually be using LEDs. I mean, yes, the LED candles on this. And then, so these tombstones are going to be standing up. So I knew that they had to have a base because the hands are not going to be strong enough to hold these candles. So I decided to use another set of hands on the bottom as like the base of these candles. Oh gosh, I'm in love with this tombstone. By far, my favorite thing I've made this week, and I've made a lot. My favorite, and it probably will be my favorite for the season. This just turned out spectacular. So yes, so um, I wanted them to stay. I mean, they were kind of intertwining on their own, but I wanted to give them just a little bit more support. So I just added a little hot glue to each little clasping hand and held it there and let it set before I let it go. Look at how cute. Oh, I just love it. Now this little stand thing I got at the Dollar General last year. I knew I wasn't going to use it. Honestly, I'm over the little stands. I don't have anywhere to put them in my house. So, but it dawned on me that this would be the best way to stand up my tombstones. So basically, I just glue the truck into the center and then I dark wax it so that it has that aged look to it. And I glued it in between tombstone number 1 and tombstone number 2. So this is tombstone number 1 here we're still working on. And I just decided to add some moss to it. I wanted to give a little bit more dimension. And you can see behind the moss right there where I'm putting, that is the back side of tombstone number 2. So hindsight 2020, I wish I had the two of the same tombstone to do this with. But I didn't, so I used what I had, and so I just filled it in with moss. And then here we are with these tricky little spider webs again. Man, they just have a mind of their own, these things, I tell you. But I knew I wanted them on there because it just gives another level of spooky magic. And, I just keep playing with it. I add some more moss, and that's it. I didn't do anything else spectacular to these. I didn't write in the sections like, rest in peace or, the millions of things that you could put in there. I just left it alone, and I just absolutely love these. Love, love, love these. If you recreate these, please tag me on. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. Like, I would love to see your version of these tombstones because they're so much fun to play with. And I knew years ago that I wanted to do it, but I just didn't. So, because I'm forced myself to use my craft stash, I pulled them out. So I love the moss. Of course, you could do the Spanish moss, which is the brown mossy stuff. But since everything else I've done has the green, I thought I'd keep along with the theme. Plus, if you watched my video the other day of the coffin I made, which these intertwined, I actually made them on the same day. Um, they go so cute together. So this is side number 1, looking spooky and awesome. And this is side number 2. So cute. So I'm just going to add a little zhizing. So I left this in here because, like I said, my creative magic happens while I'm doing this. I was going to make it more whimsy on this side with those lighted eyes that I also got from the Dollar Tree. But then after I was done working on it, I didn't like it. So I end up pulling them off in the long run. But I wanted you to see like part of the process. Like I thought they would be cute, and I still think that they're cute. I just thought that I could have executed it better having them on there. Um, so I definitely just decided to take them off in the long run. But so I'm going to add some spider webs to this side, some moss to this side, and that's it. I mean, oh, beyond the time that it takes to wait for everything to dry, like the spray paint to dry, the Mod Podge to dry, this baking soda mixture is thick, so it takes a long time to dry. So other than that, this was a pretty easy craft. I mean, a lot of fun. You could put so much creativity, your own spin into all of this, and I can't wait for you to try it too. And here's the final show. Oh, I love it. I love it. These spider webs actually behaved better for me because they're kind of flowing, and because I have a fan right there. Um, I like how they kind of just float around, and they look pretty natural considering that I only had to fight with them shortly. So you see, this is the side where I pulled the eyeballs off. That's okay. And then here it is. I hope you like this craft as much as I do. Definitely comment below. Make sure you share it with your friends. If you recreate it, I'd love to be tagged in it just so I could be so excited for you and what you created. Thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next one.